fine then. I got Hastings taken care of.
Okay, let me see that one. I'll take a picture of it there.
Okay, yeah, I'm actually done with it.
Okay, perfect. Perfect timing.
Yes, indeed. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome you to Central Methodist University for today's third and final game of the Central Methodist Triangle between Central Methodist and Hastings. Of course, Central Methodist, they are 7-2. Hastings 3-4. Hastings dropped a game earlier to Roosevelt 8-2, while Central Methodist took care of Roosevelt 9-4. Second time these two teams met, of course, Hastings defeated Central Methodist 8-6 last night down in Estes Field there. Of course, upcoming events there for the sports schedule this coming Wednesday. The Central Methodist men's and women's basketball team will be taking on Mid-American Nazarene down at Puckett Fieldhouse. Pre-game show at 5:15. Women will play at 5:30, and the men at 7:30. Next home game is part of the Central Methodist Classic. The Central Methodist baseball team will be taking on Olivet Nazarene. They'll play at 4:30 p.m. as well. Good crowd on hand. Had a great visit with several of the fans. All made the trip there. As Clayton Burke will get the start there for For Central Methodist, that's Marcus Miller. For Hastings, both teams talking over there. So at the end of one period, looks like the Islanders lead the Rangers 3-1 now. Of course, we're about ready to get started for game number 2 as we'll set the defense for you. Sponsored by Home Oil out in left field there. That's Zeb Webby down in left field. At center fielder is Bobby Nichols out in right field. Carlos Negron batting third. Down at third base is Diego Duran. Shortstop. That's Peyton Becker at shortstop. Second baseman is Valentin Cerna Jr. At first base, Joseph Weatherford, Dominic Van Dorn. And that's Clayton Burke on the mound, 1-0 with a ERA of 0, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts there. Of course, came from Portland, Oregon, lives in Columbus, Ohio, and I'm sure of course, I remember meeting his dad a few times. Came to a few of the Central Methodist baseball games there, mostly on senior weekend. So, looking forward to meeting him this year as well. And I'm sure he is listening on the broadcast. And I'm sure he's pretty excited about Ohio Stadium is going to host the Stadium Series, the NHL Stadium Series 2025 against the Detroit Red Wings. Of course, date is to be determined. We're about ready to get game number 2 going. As Tristan Martinez up there. And the first pitch comes at 3:49 p.m. Temperature about 44 degrees. Time and temperature sponsored by the parking spot. Easy to spot and easy to park. Parking spot here at Kansas City International Airport. Ball 1 now. 1-1 the count there. Martinez went 0 for 3 with an RBI in the game against Roosevelt. It's a ground ball. Becker has it, throw the first, but not in time. That'll be an infield hit there. And that's how game number 2 is started. Here's Jaden Stone up there. Stone in the first game went 0 for 2 with 2 walks. Burke will work from the stretch position. First pitch. That is a ball high. 1 ball, no strikes. One and 0 to count. The 1-0 pitch. Tries the bunt. There's a strike. 1-1 to count. It was supposed to be a 4, but we're starting early. Nothing wrong with that. Beautiful day. Dodger blue skies. Boy, it feels like I'm at Jellystone National Park, hanging out with Yogi Bear and Boo Boo. Two balls and one strike. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-2 the count. Only thing you have to watch out for to make sure Yogi doesn't steal any picnic baskets. Two balls and two strikes. 2-2 pitch. Strike three, call on the outside corner. One out now. Beautiful job there. Beautiful job of framing it by Dominic Van Dorn. And there's one out now for Mason Masur up there. He batted one time, drew a walk there. That's a strikeout they throw over there. They did that once in that first game there. First pitch. Oh, there's a strike call. 0-1 to count there. Oh and 1 to count. They throw it back over there. Kind of gets away from Weatherford. And now runs head over to second. That'll probably be an error on Weatherford for dropping the ball. At second base is Tristan Martinez. He was on it with an infield hit. Inside, 1-1 to count. One and one to count to Mason Masur. 1-1 to count. They check on the runner. And that game against Roosevelt had 4 balks. That's the second most in a game. Of course, there were 6 last year against Peru State. Did he go? I say he did. Strike 2, 1-2 the count. One and two to count. The 1-2, they check and they fake the throw. Starting 11 minutes early. 1-2, and it's outside 2-2. 2-2 to count. 2-2 pitch. Hits a high fly ball to left field. That is gone. A 2-run homer, and Hastings jumps ahead 2-0. And like the first game, Roosevelt jumped ahead 2-0. Here's Jared Delgado, who went 0 for 3 in the first game of our doubleheader. There's a strike, 0-1 to count. 0-1 pitch. Oh, nice. 0-2. 0-2 pitch. Fouls it to the screen. Still 0-2. 0-2 pitch. A little bit high, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, 1-2. Fouls it off, still 1-2. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike three. So 2 quick outs. Now for Eli Merritt. Merritt went 0 for 4. First pitch to him. No, time called. First pitch to him. Up high, 1-0 to count. With Dylan Otto on deck. The 1-0. Fouls it back, 1-1. One pitch, swings and misses, 1-2. 1-2 to count, 1-2 pitch. I think he did go, yes, sir. So 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and they leave no one. We head to the first innings, 2-0 lead for Hastings. First inning, 2-0 are scored. Bobby Nichols, 2 homers, 6 RBIs, lines a base hit at the middle. Here's Valentin Cerna. Went 2 for 4 in the first game. 1 homer, 6 RBIs. First pitch to him. That's a ball. One and oh the count. Now they check on Bobby Nichols. The 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes on Valentin Cerna Jr. Two and 0 to count. Now they check on him, and that goes Bobby Nichols. I'm sure his dad, Mike, is listening in on the broadcast. Looking forward to meeting him on senior weekend. 2-0 pitch. Swings and misses. Strike one. 2-1 to count. 2 balls and 1 strike. Quentin Norris here from the catbird seat. 2-1 pitch. It's a ground ball up the middle. Nice stop there and nowhere to go. Base hit all the way. Good job by the second base to keep the ball from going out in the outfield. So now 2 on and nobody out for Tanner Sears. Had a homer and 3 RBIs in the first game there. 2 homers, 10 RBIs. Of course, got to meet his mom and dad, Shelly and Kurt. Of course, his grandmother is Connie. Of course, he has a sister named Tori. First pitch. That's a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. One and 0 to count. First and second, nobody out. Let's see if we can see if they can trim this lead back. There's a high fly ball in the left field. That's well hit. And it's off the green monster there. Nichols will score easily. And the third is Cerna and a 2-1 lead on the double. RBI number 11 for Tanner Sears. And I have a feeling he could be a nominee for our Heart American Conference Baseball Player of the Week. Here's Carlos DeGron, 5 homers, 12 RBIs. 3 straight hits now for Central Methodist. First pitch to him. That is a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Zeb Weddy on deck. The 1-0 pitch. 2-0 to count. 2-0 to count. Two balls and no strikes. 2-0 pitch. High fly ball in the left field. That's well hit. Left field, and it's gone. A 3-run homer for Carl Negron, and Central Methodist has a 4-2 lead. And that's his 6th of the year. Leads the team in home runs, and now with RBIs 15 now. Earlier, Tanner Sears was chasing him. Now he's on top with a 4-2 lead. Here's Zeb Weddy. 1 homer, 5 RBIs. Zeb Weedy. First pitch to him. Strike call. The 0-1 pitch. Swings and misses. Strike 2 now. A 4-2 lead now. After Roosevelt got 2 in the first, Central Methodist puts 4 on the board there. And leads it 4-2 with nobody out. Oh and 2 to count. That's a bit high. 1-2 now. One ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 call, so 1 out now. Here is Peyton Becker, who is 2 for 7 on the year. Homer and 3 RBIs. from Merrill, Wisconsin, around the Milwaukee area, home of one of my good favorite people I've always liked, the great Bob Uecker. First pitch to him. That is a ball. One ball, no strikes. The 1-0. That's up high. 2 balls and no strikes. Two and 0 to count to Peyton Becker. 2-0 pitch. Strike. 2-1 to count. 2-1 to count. 2-1 pitch. Strike 2 there against their left-hander. That's Marcus Miller from Hastings, Nebraska. 2-2 to count. 4-2 Central Methodist. Hastings got 2 in the first, but Central Methodist got 4 more in the first inning. Fouls that one off. Still 2-2 there. Two and 2 now. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 call. So 2 quick outs now. Here's Diego Del Ren. The Ren has no homers, 2 RBIs. From Valencia, Venezuela. First pitch to him. Oh, just dropped for a ball. On deck, Joseph Weatherford. The 1-0 pitch to him. There's a strike. 1-1 now. One and one to count. 1-1 pitch. Ground ball to third. Third baseman has it. And there's the third out. So 4 runs on 4 hits. No errors and no one left. We head to the top of the second inning. Central Methodist 4. Hastings 2 on the Hart Conference Network.
No matter where you are in your educational journey, Central Methodist University is here for you. With CMU, you can learn on our beautiful campus in Fayette, Missouri, earn a degree completely online, or attend classes at one of our many statewide sites. Whichever path you choose, you will get a quality education that will prepare you for the future you envision. Select one of our programs of distinction in music, biology, or nursing, or choose from more than 60 degree options offered at the undergraduate and graduate levels. And if you decide to join us on campus, you will be able to take advantage of all the university has to offer, including dozens of clubs and organizations, a robust student life, and top-notch NAIA athletics. Discover what makes us different and how a degree from CMU can prepare you for the future. Discover Central Methodist University today.
Four runs, 4 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. 2 runs, 2 hits, and no errors for Hastings. As Dylan Otto comes to bat from Lillington, Colorado. Clayton Burke on the mound with a 4-2 lead in the first pitch. Ground ball fouled. No balls and 1 strike. 0-1 to count. Here's the 0-1. Misses that one. 1-1 to count. 1 ball, 1 strike, the 1-1. That kind of gets away. 2-1 to count. 2-1 to count. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-2 to count. So 2-2 now on Dylan Otto. 2-2 pitch. Misses that one. 3-2. 3-2 the count. Here's your 3-2 pitch. High fly ball to left field. Nichols has some room. Makes the catch in front of the warning track. Willie Mays would be proud of you. And I'm sure Willie Mays is smiling down from heaven. There's Matt Lucaro. Lucaro went 0 for 2. Lays that one foul, trying to bunt his way on. Oh and 1 to count. Even though the game started at 4, we started at 3:49. Here's the 0-1 now. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 0-2 the count. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Ball 1-2 to count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 calls, so 2 outs now. Here's Tyler Kistler. Kistler is from LaSalle, Colorado. First pitch to him. Fouls it off. Strike 1. Hastings 3-4 on the year. Central Methodist 7-2. 0-1 pitch. That's a ball outside. 1-2. 1-1 the count. Aliscar Descartes on deck. Here's the 1-1. Oh, nice. Inside there. 2-1. 2-1 to count. 2-1 pitch. Nice pitch. 2-2. 2-2 the count. On Tyler Kistler. 2-2 pitch. Fouled it off. Still 2-2. Two and two to count. 2-2 pitch. Fouls that one off. Still 2-2. Two pitch. Misses that one on the outside corner. 3-2. 2 outs in the second inning. 4-2 Central Methodist. Hastings got 2 in the first. 4 in the first for Central Methodist, including the 3-run shot. A little fly ball. That will be a base hit there. So a little Joel Morgan single to center field there for the third hit of the game. Here's Alexander Descartes, who went 0 for 2 in the first game of our doubleheader. Descartes went 0 for 2 in the first game of the doubleheader. Burke will work from the stretch. In the pitch. That's a ball. 1-0 to count. Tristan Martinez is on deck. They throw over there, and back goes Kistler. One ball, no strikes, the 1-0. Swing and a miss, 1-1 there. I tell you, you have to give credit to the pitching staff there, especially from that third inning on against Roosevelt with Seitz, and then one good inning from Billow, and then fouls that one off, 1-2, and then closing it out, Justin Steedray. 1-2 the count. Throws over there. One ball, two strikes. 1-2 pitch. Nice stop there. Van Dorn recovers the throw into center field, but not deep enough to move the runner to third. So 2-2 the count there. So Kistler's the second with the count of 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Little cue shot, knocks it down by Burke. Recovers, throws over to Weatherford for the third out. So no runs on one hit, no errors, and they leave one. We head to the bottom of the second inning. Central Methodist 4, Hastings 2 on our conference network.
Bales takes this shot, whips it in, and it's in the back of the net!
Four runs, 4 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. 2 runs, 3 hits, and no errors for Hastings. Joseph Weatherford goes to bat. No homers, 4 RBIs from Flower Mound, Texas. But I think according to his dad, Steve, and his mom, Gayla, they live in around Batesville, Arkansas. First pitch to him. Strike, 0-1 the count. No balls and 1 strike. Here's the 0-1 now. Swings and misses. Strike 2 there. Oh, 2 the count. 0-2 pitch. Outside. Last year, the baseball team hosted the opening round of the tournament. First time in school history. Now they're trying to do it for 2 years in a row. 2021, they went to the World Series. 1-2 pitch. That's outside. 2-2. Hopefully they go back to the World Series for the second time in a 4-year span. Two balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch. That's outside. 3-2. 3-2 the count to Joseph Weatherford. 3-2 pitch. Fouls that one off. Central Methodist got 4 in the first inning on the double by Tanner Sears and a 3-run homer by Carlos Negron. 3-2 pitch. That's ball 4 now. Lead off walk. Here's Dominic Van Dorn. Came on for defensive purposes in the 7th inning of game number 1 against Roosevelt. He's from Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan, around the Detroit area. The most famous TV show, Home Improvement, with Tim Allen, who played Tim the Toolman Taylor. First pitch. There's a strike call. One of the best episodes I've ever liked was when Tim the Toolman Taylor challenged Bob Vila to a lawnmower race. Tries to bunt, and that's a ball there. 1-1 to count on Dominic Van Dorn with Bobby Nichols on deck. The 1-1. Oh, lays down a beautiful bunt there. His only play is the first. There's out number 1. So 1-4 on your scorecard, and Weatherford goes to second. Beautiful bunt there by Dominic Van Dorn, moving Joseph Weatherford to second for Bobby Nichols. He singled his first time up. At second base is Joseph Weatherford. First pitch to him. That's a ball outside, 1-0 to count. I'm sure Bobby Nichols is from Detroit. I'm sure a lot of people in Detroit are looking forward to watching the Detroit Red Wings take on Seattle tomorrow afternoon, 2:30 p.m. on ESPN. First game, Toronto and St. Louis. The 1-0. Ball 2 now. 2 balls and no strikes. Detroit still in contention hunt for the Stanley Cup playoffs. Two and 0 to count. 2-0 pitch. It's a high pop fly there in the right field. Right fielder gives it a chase. And he makes the catch. Weatherford heads for third, and he makes it easily. Boy, he read that play perfectly. And caught it in foul ground and moved Weatherford to third. So 2 outs now for Valentin Cerna Jr. He singled his first time up there. Came in today's game as the leading hitter, 464. First pitch to him. There's a base hit there, and Weatherford comes in to score to make it 5-2. So that extra base there by Weatherford the third paid off, and for Cerna Jr., that's number 7 on the year. So Tanner Sears up the bat. He doubled and drove in a run his first time up. Has 11 RBIs on the season. We'll take a timeout here. It looks like the right fielder's okay. He probably slipped a little bit. I think both times, either when he made the catch around the foul grounds in right field, or the other time was when he tried to catch the base, try to catch the fly ball from Valentin Cerna. So it's 5-2 now, and the pitch to Tanner Sears, and that's a ball outside. 1-0 to count. The 1-0. That's a bit high. 2 balls and no strikes. Two and 0 to count. 2-0 pitch. Fouls it off. 2-1 to count. Two and 1 to count. Hits the ground ball to third. Third baseman has it. Throws over to first for the third out. So Central Methodist gets 1 run on 1 hit. No errors. And they leave 1. We head to the top of the third. Central Methodist 5. Hastings 2 on the Hart Conference Network.
Bales takes this shot, whips it in, and it's in the back of the net!
Five runs, 5 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Hastings. Here's Tristan Martinez. Five to 2 lead. Quentin Norris from the catbird seat. First pitch. There's a strike call. Of course, historic day on Saturday. Mid-American Nazarene takes on Missouri Baptist. Mark my 500th college baseball game. Fouls it off. Strike 2. That's at 1:30 there. Part of the CMU Classic. 0-2 pitch. I think he did go. Did he go? Yes, sir. Strike 3 called. Here's Jaden Stone. He struck out his first time up. First pitch to him. That's inside. 1 ball and no strikes. The 1-0. Hits a fly ball to left. Left fielder has room. And making the catch is Zeb Weddy for out number 2. So 2 quick outs now. Mason LeSueur hit a 2-run homer the first time over the Green Monster. That made it 2-0 before Central Methodist added 4 more in the first, and then 1 in the second. 1-0 to count. That's a ball outside. 2-0 to count. Two pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Luck out for the bat. Luckily, the bat hit the screen. Very luckily, we have the screen there because otherwise, that was hitting towards Shelly Sears. And Shelly Sears would have had the duck. 2-1 to count. 3-1 to count. Three balls and a strike. 3-1 pitch. There's a strike on the outside corner. Good job of framing it by Dominic Van Dorn. 3-2 the count. And that's ball 4. So a 2-out walk. Here's Jared Delgado. He struck out his first time up. Seward first with 2 outs. That's a pie, 1-0 to count. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. They throw over there. I think they got him. Yes, sir. Oh, baby. What a play. Boy, he was like Johnny Bench, the master of throwing out runners at first base. That's the second time today we have seen Central Methodist caught a runner off base. We saw that in the first game against Roosevelt. If you remember that one, that came in that second inning when Castillas from Roosevelt was picked off. And that really kind of changed the momentum there. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on. Bottom of the third, 5-2 Central Methodist. Five runs, 5 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. 2 runs, 3 hits, and no errors for Hastings. Here's Carlos Negron up there. Hit a big 3-run homer in the first inning. That gave Central Methodist a 4-2 lead. And the first pitch to him. That's a ball, 1-0 to count. One and 0 to count. The 1-0. Hits a high fly ball to left. Could he do it again? Yes, sir. Number 2. His second of the day. He has 4 RBIs, and it's now 6-2. A home run for Carlos Negron. He has 7 homers and 16 RBIs on the year. Here's Zeb Weddy. And it looks like a little conference action taking place there. Looks like a pitching change will take place there. The call of the bullpen, sponsored by Verizon Wireless. Cooper Giron is the new pitcher today from Utica, Nebraska. Six to 2 lead there. 2 homers, 4 RBIs by Carlos Negron. Here's Zeb Weddy. He struck out his first time up. Zeb Weddy. 6 to 2. First pitch to him. That's a ball. 1-0 to count. The 1-0 pitch. That's a bit high. 2-0. 2-0 to count. Two-0 pitch. That's 3-0. 3 balls and no strikes. 3-0 pitch. Strike on the outside corner. 3-1 now. 3-1 to count. 6 to 2 Central Methodist. 3-1 pitch. Strike on the outside corner. 3-2. 4 RBIs and 2 home runs by Carlos Negron. Three-two pitch. It's a high pop fly. Right fielder calls for it for out number 1. So 1 out now for Peyton Becker. He struck out his first time up. First pitch to him. That's a ball low. 1-0 to count. One and 0 to count. The 1-0. Swings and misses. Strike 1. 1-1 to count. One pitch, fouls it off. 1-2. Diego Dioren on deck. One and 2 to count. 1-2 pitch. 2-2 to count. Two balls and 2 strikes. Two pitch. It's a liner in the left center field. That is a base hit there for Peyton Becker. 7 hits now for Central Methodist. Here's Diego Dioren. Rounded out the third his first time up. First pitch to him. That is a ball, 1-0 to count. On deck is Joseph Weatherford. Becker at first with 1 out. Fouls that one off. 1-1 to count. One ball, one strike. Now they throw back over there. One ball, one strike. On Diego Del Ren. The 1-1. Inside, 2-1. Two balls and one strike. Central Methodist softball won earlier, 15-3. Central Methodist softball is 9-2 on the year. It's a high fly ball in the left center field. That is well hit, and that's up against the wall there. Becker is headed for third. He is being waved around. The throw. He is safe. Good hustle by Peyton Becker. And 7-2 on Dale Wren. And for Dale Wren, his third RBI of the year. And a 7-2 ball game. Of course, softball's next home game is not until March the 7th, when they'll take on the University of St. Mary's in a doubleheader at the Cox Softball Complex. Pregame show at 1:45. First pitch at 2 p.m. And here's Joseph Weatherford. He batted once from the right, drew a walk. First pitch to Weatherford. And that's a ball. Next home game for Central Methodist baseball after this. Thursday, they'll take on Auburn Nazarene, the fourth part of the CMU Classic. The 1-0. There's a strike, 1-1 to count. Dominic Van Dorn on deck. Del Ren is at second on the double to left center field. The 1-1. That's outside, 2-1 to count. Two and one to count. 2-1 pitch. It's a foul ball. 2-2. Two and two to count. Two and two to count. 2-2 pitch. That's outside. 3-2. Dominic Van Dorn is on deck. Three-two pitch. Chops that one foul. Still 3-2. Three and two to count. Duren's at second. Three and two now on Joseph Weatherford. 3-2 pitch. Chops that one foul. Just protecting the plate, as Joe Garagiola would say on NBC television. I tell you, that foul tip swing reminds me of Bernie Carbo when he was at bat in Game 6 of the 1975 World Series against Raleigh Eastwick. And then the next pitch is one over the center field wall. Could Weatherford top that? We'll see. Strike 3 call. So 2 outs now. And here's Dominic Van Dorn. He drew a sac bunt in that second inning. A beautiful sac bunt that moved Weatherford to second. Seven to 2, Central Methodist. First pitch. Did he go? Yes, sir. 1 strike to count. Bottom of the third inning. Central Methodist 7. Hastings 2. The 0-1. Fouls that one off. 0-2 to count. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 pitch. That's a bit high. 1-2. Okay. 1-2 to count. On Dominic Van Dorn. 1-2 pitch. Lines it to the third baseman. Well, he hit that right on the button there. But Central Methodist gets 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors. They leave 1. We head to the top of the 4th. Central Methodist 7. Hastings 2.
No matter where you are in your educational journey, Central Methodist University is here for you. With CMU, you can learn on our beautiful campus in Fayette, Missouri, earn a degree completely online, or attend classes at one of our many statewide sites. Whichever path you choose, you will get a quality education that will prepare you for the future you envision. Select one of our programs of distinction in music, biology, or nursing, or choose from more than 60 degree options offered at the undergraduate and graduate levels. And if you decide to join us on campus, you will be able to take advantage of all the university has to offer, including dozens of clubs and organizations, a robust student life, and top-notch NAIA athletics. Discover what makes us different and how a degree from CMU can prepare you for the future. Discover Central Methodist University today.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to get it. (4-3) in the second intermission. Okay. 7 runs, 8 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. 2 runs, 3 hits, and no errors for Hastings. At least I taught you new stuff. You know, I taught you new stuff then.
Yeah, you did.
So now coming up the bat for Hastings, Jared Delgado. He struck out his first time up. Of course, an NHL score at the end of 2 periods. The Islanders lead the Rangers 4-3 in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And that's a foul ball. Of course, Delgado was at bat when Masur was picked off first base by Dominic Van Dorn. The 0-1 now. Strike 2. 0-2 to count. 0-2 pitch. Misses that one. 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Strike 3 on the outside corner. Good job of framing it by Dominic Van Dorn. So 1 out now for Eli Merritt. He struck out his first time up. First pitch to him. Strike 1 there. 0-1 to count. The 0-1 now. That's missed. 1-1 to count. One ball, one strike, the 1-1. Ground ball knocks it down. Throw the first, not in time, but a good effort by Clayton Burke knocking the ball down. And a good effort by Peyton Becker to make the throw to first, but the runners at. So Dylan Otto flew out to Bobby Nichols his first time up. So it's an infield hit. First pitch. That's a ball, 1-0 to count. 4 hits now for Hastings. Burke just needs to talk to the baseball. A 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes. Two balls and no strikes. 2-0 pitch. Misses. 3-0 to count. Three and 0 to count on Dylan Otto. 3-0 pitch. Strike on the end. Strike call. 3-1 now. Three-one pitch. Strike 2. Beautiful pitch there. So he goes from 3-0 to 3-2. 3-2 pitch. Fouls it to the screen, and it's 3-2. 7-2 Central Methodist. Hastings got 2 in the first. Central Methodist with 4 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third. 3-2 pitch. Fouls that one off the screen. Still 3-2. Heading toward the 5 o'clock hour. On this Sunday, February 18th. 3-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. 2 outs now. And here's Matt Lucero. He struck out his first time up. First pitch to him. Little fist job there. Good job there by Becker. Throw the first. Beautiful scoop there by Joseph Weatherford for the third out. So no runs on 1 hit. No errors. And they leave 1. We are halfway home. Central Methodist 7. Hastings 2 on the Hart Conference Network.
Bales takes this shot, whips it in, and it's in the back of the net!
7 runs, 8 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. 2 runs, 4 hits, and no errors for Hastings. Next home match here at Central, Wednesday night. The men's and women's basketball team takes on Mid-American Nazarene. Pregame show at 5:15. Women will play at 5:30, and then the men at 7:30. As Bobby Nichols up there, 1 for 2 with a single. Hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, we may get to talk to Nate Breland for the post-game report. First pitch to him. Strike. 0-1 in the count. No balls and 1 strike on Bobby Nichols. 0-1 pitch. Little cue shot in the right field. That's a base hit. He's 2 for 3 on the day. The 9th hit of the game for Central Methodist. There's Valentin Cerna Jr. Two for 2 with 2 singles and an RBI. Gives him number 7 on the year. First pitch to him. There goes Nichols. Here's the throw. No question about it. He goes in head first. And the count is 1-0. Boy, he could fly the bases like Ricky Henderson did a lot, especially back in 1982 when he stole 130 bases. One to count to Valentin Cerna Jr. There's a strike call, 1-1. One and one to count. 1-1, and that's ball 2 with Tanner Sears on deck. And of course, the big story is could Negron go for his 3rd home run? The last player to hit 3 home runs in a World Series, Pablo Sandoval did in Game 1 of the 2012 World Series against the Detroit Tigers. 3-1. It's only 3 times, I will tell you, in World Series play in the last 46 years. Reggie Jackson did it in Game 6 of the 77 World Series against the Dodgers off 3 pitchers. Saw 3 pitches and put them all in the seats. 3-1 pitch. Here's a little chopper to the shortstop. Throws over the first for out number 1. And Valentin Cerna slips and falls, but I'm sure he is okay. Nichols heads for 3rd. So 1 out now, and I think he is now okay. He took a little slip going past the first base bag. Here's Tanner Sears. 1 for 2 with a double. And RBI as well. So far, he has 4 RBIs. He has 11 RBIs now on the year. Now the infield is in. Trying to add another run on the board. Here's a little chopper, foul, strike 1. 0-1 to count. Softball, they went 5-1 in Columbus, Georgia. What a tremendous start. Central Methodist softball 9-2. The 0-1 pitch. Strike 2 called. Oh and 2 to count. Oh 2 pitch. Inside 1-2. Infield in. One ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 pitch. Swings and misses, strike 3 call. So 2 outs now. Here's Carlos Negron. 2 for 2, 2 homers, 4 RBIs. Could he join like Babe Ruth, Reggie Jackson, George Brett? Remember, George Brett hit 3 home runs in Game 3 in the 1978 American League Championship Series. Albert Pujols, Pablo Sandoval, and many others. Here's a ground ball. Nice stop by the second baseman. Throw the first for the 3rd out. So no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and they leave 1. We are through 4. Central Methodist 7, Hastings 2. On the Heart Conference Network. Seven runs, 9 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. 2 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. It's Tyler Kistler up the bat. He singled his first time up. Looks like no one is throwing in the Central Methodist bullpen. Clayton Burke has a 7-2 lead to work with. And a strike call. He has really settled down, really, since the first inning. 0-1 now. The senior from Portland, but I was told by his dad he lives in Columbus, Ohio. I remember meeting his dad at a Central Methodist baseball game last year. Ground ball. That's the third baseman, Dorenzo Joseph Weatherford for out number 1. So 1 out now. That looks like that's Roy Ochoa's family from Elsinore, Missouri, around the Poplar Bluff, Missouri area. There's Alice Cardis. He grounded out to Clayton Burke his first time up. Lines a shot. There's a base hit there into the corner. Weddy plays it perfectly. The throw to second. Not in time. Good effort there. So 1 out double. That's the 5th hit of the game for Hastings. There's Tristan Martinez, 1 for 2 with a single. 5 hits already for Hastings. First pitch to him. That's a ball, 1-0 to count. Central Methodist 1. Little pop up there. That may go out of play. And it's 1-1. Of course, the first game today. Roosevelt defeated Hastings 8-2. Then Central Methodist defeated Roosevelt 9-4. They're up 7-2 now. Top of the 5th inning. The 1-1 fouls it off. 1-2. Jaden Stone is on deck. One pitch. Oh, nice stop by Dominic Van Dorn. And it's still 2-2 now. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 7-2 Central Methodist, trying to go for win number 8. Of course, in a few weeks, they'll begin conference play on March the 2nd against Graceland at home for a 1 o'clock start time for a 4-game series. And then games 3 and 4 will be in 2 weeks at 1 p.m. Well, conference play will be heating up. Two and 2 to count. 2-2 pitch. Oh, nice stop there. And it's 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So 2 outs now. For Jaden Stone, who is 0 for 2 on the day. Runner at second. Time called. First pitch to him. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. The Cardinals at second with the double. Nice pitch on the outside corner. Good job of framing it by Dominic Van Dorn. 0-2 to count. Oh, 2 pitch. Little cue shot. DeGron makes the catch for the third out. So no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Central Methodist 7, Hastings 2 on the Heart Conference Network.
No matter where you are in your educational journey, Central Methodist University is here for you. With CMU, you can learn on our beautiful campus in Fayette, Missouri, earn a degree completely online, or attend classes at one of our many statewide sites. Whichever path you choose, you will get a quality education that will prepare you for the future you envision. Select one of our programs of distinction in music, biology, or nursing, or choose from more than 60 degree options offered at the undergraduate and graduate levels. And if you decide to join us on campus, you will be able to take advantage of all the university has to offer, including dozens of clubs and organizations, a robust student life, and top-notch NAIA athletics. Discover what makes us different and how a degree from CMU can prepare you for the future. Discover Central Methodist University today.
New pitcher on the mound there, that's Aaron Eldrima from Aurora, Colorado. Seven runs, 9 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. 2 runs, 5 hits, and no errors for Roosevelt. Quentin Norris here. Today's attendance, 44,221. Millions are watching on television across the world. And Zeb Weddy up there, 0 for 2. There's a high pop up there. Let's see who calls for it. First baseman gives a chase. Foul ball. Trying to be like what Jack Clark did in Game 6 of the 1985 World Series. Remember when Steve Balboni hit the foul ball towards the first base dugout, Jack Clark couldn't find the baseball. Turns out it was behind Jack Clark. So 0-1 to count. The 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. On deck is Peyton Becker. The 1-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two and 1 to count. Swings and misses 2-2. Looks like that's David Soriano on deck. 2-2 pitch. Now 3-2. Soriano played in the first game. Went 1 for 2 with a single and an RBI. 3-2 the count with nobody out in the 5th. And that's ball 4 there, so leadoff ball. Soriano, no homers, 3 RBIs. And just to let you know, he is not related to former New York Yankee and Chicago Cubs baseball player Alfonso Soriano. He'll probably take over for Peyton Becker at short. Tries the bunt and a strike call. From Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. 0-1 to count. Weddy's at first. There's the bunt. That's a bit high. 1-1 to count. Diego Duran on deck. Checks on the runner and back he goes. There you see Duran is sporting those pink gloves. Those pink batting gloves. 1-1. That kind of gets away there. Maybe he can wear those if Central Methodist will be playing baseball around Mother's Day weekend. Because they always have something special on Mother's Day. They usually have the pink bats, the pink gloves, the pink wristbands, and everything. 2-1 pitch. Lays out a beautiful bunt there. Pitcher's only play is the first, and there's 1 out now. So Soriano does his job perfectly, and there's 1 gone, and Wendy is at second. Here's Duran. Diego Duran, 1 for 2 with a double and an RBI. Weddy's at second. 7-2 are scored. First pitch. Swings and misses. Strike 1. Wren has 3 RBIs on the year. 0-1 to count. The 0-1. Inside, 1-1. On deck, looks like Joseph Weatherford. Looks like Landon Winningham is warming up in the Central Methodist bullpen. Catching there is Cooper Keogh from Bowling Green. Same area where my good friend Steve Fouts used to came from, along with Lance Cox. And then a few miles up to the north, you got Louisiana, where B.J. Adams is from. 1-1 pitch. And he was hit by a pitch, so now first and second. Here's Joseph Weatherford, 0 for 1 with a walk. Second time he's batted from the right side there. So now Nick Tampa is the courtesy runner. Of course, I had a great visit with Nick Tampa in between games of the doubleheader. Seven to 2 is our score. Let's see if Central Methodist can add some more runs there. With one out, thanks to a sac bunt by David Soriano. Here's the pitch to him. Hits the ground ball to short. They'll go to third, and that's all they can get. They get the lead runner, Tampa, for out number 2 there. So fielder's choice. And here's Dominic Van Dorn, 0 for 1. He has a sac bunt in that second inning. But line to third. And when he hit that liner, that was right on the button. First and second, 2 out. Strike call, 0-1 to count. Bobby Nichols is on deck. Here's the 0-1. Hits a high pop up there. That'll be out of play. And it's 0-2 to count on Dominic Van Dorn. Duren's at second. He was hit by a pitch. Joseph Weatherford's at first. He was on the fielder's choice. On deck is Bobby Nichols. Oh, 2 pitch. Nice stop. 1-2. One and two, the count, 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 call, so no runs, no hits, no errors, and they leave 2. We head to the 6th inning. Central Methodist 7. Hastings 2 on the Heart Conference Network.
No matter where you are in your educational journey, Central Methodist University is here for you. With CMU, you can learn on our beautiful campus in Fayette, Missouri, earn a degree completely online, or attend classes at one of our many statewide sites. Whichever path you choose, you will get a quality education that will prepare you for the future you envision. Select one of our programs of distinction in music, biology, or nursing, or choose from more than 60 degree options offered at the undergraduate and graduate levels. And if you decide to join us on campus, you will be able to take advantage of all the university has to offer, including dozens of clubs and organizations, a robust student life, and top-notch NAIA athletics. Discover what makes us different and how a degree from CMU can prepare you for the future. Discover Central Methodist University today.
Seven runs, 9 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. 2 runs, 5 hits, and no errors for Hastings. There's Mason Masur. 1 for 1 on the day with a homer and 2 RBIs. That came in the first inning. They gave Hastings a 2-0 lead. Central Methodist had 2 or 4 in the first, and 1 more in the fifth, and 2 more in the third. First pitch hits the ground ball just past the diving Diego Durin. That's the 6th hit of the game for Hastings. Here's Jared Delgado, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts on the day. First pitch to him. That's a ball, 1-0 to count. Negron will be batting to do it 4th. Has a chance to hit his 3rd home run of the game. The 1-0. Lines a base hit in the left field. 2 straight hits now for Hastings. So now Jordan Schwellenbach will come out there, maybe just to settle him down. As Landon Willingham is still warming up in the Central Methodist bullpen. Here's Eli Merritt, 1 for 2 with a single. That came in the 4th inning. First pitch. Chops it foul, strike 1. Oh and 1 to count. The 0-1. Looping liner. That's a base hit. They're trying to wave a runner home. Here's the throw. Not in time. Base hit. Now it's 7-3 now. 3 straight singles there. Here's Dylan Otto, 0 for 2 on the day. Okay. Trying to keep it where it is. 7-3 now in the first pitch. That's a bit high. 1-0 to count. One and 0 to count. Heading toward the 5:30 hour. The lights are on. The 1-0. Nice pitch on the outside corner. Strike call. 1-1 to count. 1-1 to count. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. A beautiful pitch there. Strike 2. 1-2 to count. The 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. A big strikeout there. So 1 out now in the 6th inning. Here's Matt Lucero. 0 for 2 on the day. They check the runner. Back here is Delgado. Landon Willingham still in the bullpen. Here's the pitch. Lines it. Nice play by Weatherford. Throw to second. A double play. Oh, baby. Or as Mel Allen would say, this week in baseball, how about that? 1 run on 3 hits. No errors. And they leave just the 1. We head to the 6th inning. Central Methodist leads it 7-3. 7 runs, 9 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. 3 runs, 8 hits, and no errors for Hastings. Of course, remember, Hastings had first and second, 1 out. Looked like they were going to close the gap, but the liner hit by Lucero made the play by Weatherford and threw the second for the out. Doubling up Jared Delgado. Here's Bobby Nichols, 2 for 3 with 2 singles on it. Hits a ground ball up the middle. Shortstop has it to throw to first. And he is in there. Good hustle there. Now let's see, that's a base hit all the way. 3 singles already for. There you see that replay there. Looking like a base hit. But Weatherford made the play. Through the second to double up Delgado. So 7-3 now. They were trying to confirm the call, and it is still safe. Here's Valentin Cerna. 2 for 3 with 2 singles and an RBI. Ten hits already for Central Methodist. First pitch. That's a ball outside, 1-0 to count. 1-0 to count on Valentin Cerna. They throw over there to check on Bobby Nichols. One-0 pitch to him. That's outside. 2-0 to count. Tanner Sears on deck. Two and 0 to count. 2-0 pitch. 3-0 to count. Three-0 pitch. Back goes Bobby Nichols. Three and 0 to count. 3-0 pitch. And it's ball 4 now. So here's Tanner Sears, the batter, who is 1 for 3 with a double and RBI. He had a homer and 3 RBIs in the game against Roosevelt. First pitch to him. There's a strike call, 0-1 to count. Bottom of the 6th inning, 7-3 Central Methodist. Trying to go for another victory. Get 2 good wins there and go 3-1 during this triangular match. The 0-1 now. Inside, 1-1. They defeated Roosevelt yesterday. That was 9-2. That's a bit high, 2-1. Then lost to Hastings, 8-6. Then today defeated Roosevelt 9-4. Now they're up 7-3. Two-one pitch. Swings and misses, 2-2. He was trying to golf it. Sears wants to talk it over with Nate Breland in the third base coach's box. A little past 5:30. It looks like World News Tonight with host Kate Snow. 2-2 to count on Tanner Sears. Nichols at second. Cerna at first. The 2-2. 3-2 to count. And Negron is on deck. He has a chance to make history. Hit 3 home runs in the game. Three and two the count. 3-2 pitch. Strike 3 call, so 1 out now. Here's Carlos LeGras, 2 for 3 with 2 homers, 4 RBIs. Seven homers, 16 RBIs on the year. First pitch. That's a bit high. 1-0 to count. Zeb Weddy on deck. 1-0 to count. The 1-0. High fly ball in the right field, and that's going to go foul. 1-1 to count. 1-1 to count. Babe Ruth, last home run was 7-14. Came on today. He also had 3 home runs against the Pittsburgh Pirates back in 1935. 1-1 to count. Swing and a miss. He was going for it, but strike 2. 1-2 to count. One-two pitch. High fly ball. Did he do it? Center fielder goes back, and he makes the catch. Ahead at the third is Bobby Nichols, but he'll go back to third. But he gave it a run there. But hey, you know, one thing I want to say is, let's give a round of applause for Carlos LeGras for his outstanding effort today. Zeb Wadey, 0 for 2 on today. Cerna is at first. Bobby Nichols at third. Swing and a miss. Strike 1 there. Oh and 1 to count. Playing him toward left. The 0-1. Strike 2. 0-2 to count. Oh and 2 to count. 2 outs in the 7. 2 outs in the 6. 7-3 Central Methodist. Now they got him picked off. Now here's Nichols. He stole home. And I will tell you this. Tim McCarver is smiling down from heaven. A stolen base. He has stolen home. Boy, I tell you what, Tim McCarver is smiling down from heaven. Because he was the last player to steal home in a World Series. Did that in Game 7 of the 1964 World Series against the New York Yankees. I believe the count is 0-2. Oh and 2 to count. Chops it foul. Soriano is on deck. That's called answering a run back from Hastings when they made it 7-3. Now it's 8-3. 0-2. Foul ball. Still 0-2. Hopefully we'll talk over with Nate Breland about today's doubleheader victory over Roosevelt and Hastings. 0-2 pitch. And then also give you the matchup against Olivet Nazarene, also Missouri Baptist. Then Sunday it's Oklahoma City and then Columbia College. 1-2 pitch. Strike three call. So 1 run on just 1 hit. No errors and 1 left. We head to the 7th inning. Central Methodist 8, Hastings 3 on the Hart Conference Network.
Bales takes this shot, whips it in, and it's in the back of the net!
New pitcher on the man, Landon Willingham from Hazlet, Texas. Round the Dallas area. An 8-3 lead there. Central Methodist needs 3 more outs for win number 8. And go 3-1 in the triangular match. Eight runs, 10 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. 3 runs, 8 hits, and an error for Hastings. Tyler Kistler, 1 for 2 with a single. First pitch, 6 good innings there from Clayton Burke. And I'm sure his dad enjoyed it. Looking forward to meeting his dad later on this season. The 0-1 now. Fouls it off, strike 2. I'm sure his dad will be at one of the Central Methodist games this year. 0-2 to count. 0-2 pitch. Misses that one, 1-2. There is activity in the Central Methodist bullpen. That's Tanner Sears. Just in case we have trouble. 2-2 to count. Two and two to count. 2-2 pitch. Fouls that one off. 2-2 to count. Two and two to count. 2-2 pitch. 3-2 to count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 pitch. Fly ball. Negron has some room. And there's out number 1. So 1 down, 2 to go. As Alscair DeCardis comes to bat, who is 1 for 2 with a double. First pitch to him. Ooh, chin music. Or as Dwight Gooden would call it, Uncle Charlie. 1-0 the count. The 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 to count. 8-3 Central Methodist. 2-0 pitch. Fouls it to the screen. 2-1 now. Two and one to count. 2-1 now. Strike two. 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch is a ground ball. Soriano has it. Throws over to Weatherford. Makes the play for out number 2. So 2 quick outs now. And they're 1 out away from a victory there. They'll go to 8-2, but most importantly, finished up 3-1 or in the round in the Triangular Classic. And it's up to Tristan Martinez, 1 for 3 with a single. Here's the pitch. Cue shot, foul, strike 1. 0-1 to count. 0-1 now. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Just 1 strike away. Listen to this crowd here at Estes Field in front of 44,000 here. 0-2 to count. Here's 0-2. That's missed. 1-2. Just to increase the tension. Estes Field shivering with its concrete foundations. 1-2 to count. The 1-2. High fly ball in the right field. That will go out of play. 1-2 the count to Tristan Martinez. They're just 1 strike away. 1 out away. Here's the 1-2. A ground ball, foul. 1-2 the count to Tristan Martinez. They're just 1 out away from a Central Methodist victory. Here's the 1-2. Foul ball, still 1-2. Just basically just to increase the tension. Hopefully we'll get to talk with Nate Breland about tonight's victory. Victory over Roosevelt and victory over Hastings. 1-2. Strike 3 called. A 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on. And that's the winner, folks. The final score is Central Methodist 8. Hastings 3. So I'll give you the final line numbers there. Central Methodist 8 runs, 10 hits, and no errors. Hastings 3 runs, 8 hits, and an error. Central Methodist with the victory. They're 8-2 on the year. Hastings goes to 3-5. They'll play over at Nazarene on Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Then Missouri Baptist on Friday at 4:30. And then they'll be all Saturday, and they'll play Oklahoma City at 1:30, and then Columbia College at 4:30. And the next home matches we'll see is Wednesday night. We welcome as the men's and women's basketball team takes on Mid-America Nazarene. Women will play at 5:30. The men at 7:30. Pregame show at 7:30 p.m. Pregame show at 5:15 p.m. for the women. The men at 7:30. Quentin Norris say so long. We're going to talk with Nate Breland, and that's 7,271 of them. Good night, everyone. Please drive home